welcome to our show. Much idea, Adrian say. At least, you better more than say 10 minutes, 5 minutes poor. Na yenka Ghana hun semi-independence soon. What are the lessons to be learned? How do we forge ahead? It is a month we've decided to wear Ghana. Yebe di Ghana dran, yebe di Ghana nkomo. Yebe she Ghana tadie, yebe bo Ghana nyom. I mean throughout. But my bompai. Na scenario siko idie. My bompai. I'll be monitoring some, what is happening in the body of Christ Nansenyi. And it is quite interesting, as if the pastors are beginning to throw shits at each other. About whether or not we should believe in the altars and the prophecies and the whatnot. And our fathers in the Lord are beginning to confuse us. And yes, Remo, let the teachers teach, let the prophets prophesy. Obiandi nelemu na die mu ye ninjini say AFA. The preaching has just become like throwing shades these days, but I'll discuss this properly at the right time. And idea my attention na wo National Film Authority or na my attention wo na me penyo fo ya tina se nti mechia omo na mamomo akwaba na meji omo enumsem. And then I come straight because I didn't tell my attention one National Film Authority. Ohima Julieta Asentua Santi, former executive secretary of the National Film Authority, watch rock crata tin the ababontin. Or see omumano position no in the year 2020 no. Omwa mano pay until 2022. Benumpo enyasem. Computer, photocopier, paper, ink, omwa mano office, omwa mano share. Now our call board meeting at MDD. Hey, I'll see board members no mu 13. Omu to make boom, omu didi na 5 hours non-stop. Oh, Chairman David, don't talk. Enye numpe. Or see, ni bosses no cry, ni bosses no mu ye bema. Omu to me tam no say, to say ye tampa no waho, no ma kukuru no. No mu di ama. Ama bema for say G famino bamno. All those things she endured. I'll come to that, but let me go and welcome my two seniors, Nene Benete Akwaku and Sukri Safo. Nene oye journalist and Central and Penyimpa Masha Nasi in Phoebe Bridgman when I say Anasi Ajumayede and Sukri Safo is in the training. Osape Amayon Sem Papa Osum Osunu Kokurokonu Kakraka Echiglenye elolo mpenyifo mwakwaba okay, so Safo pick the other one. Basho Boko. No, you're fine. I mean you picked because the middle myself. Boko dear. Boko. But I'm going to the office. Now weekend no call saying. Oh, usually weekend is cool. So why? Weekend the idea me no say nya sorry ye. Where ye? This week dear. Enya sorry. Sorry. Wordstone Evangelical Ministry. Yes, Wordstone Evangelical. Nana, we are sure say what sorry. Oh, me kwa sorry. We are sure pa. We are sure pa. I'm sorry for suffer who. Suffer who me pa. Or preaching then. We are preaching about the favor of Christ. We are in the season of favor, yeah. Of quotation of free. Hey. Halifax, bye one. Oh, no, sir, sorry. Sunday year now we call it. So for preaching about favor of Christ. Yes. Because we are in the month of favor. Yes. Of so far quotations. Of our several quotations of our Mary, the mother of Christ, who found favor in the eyes of God. That was what the angel told him. Sarah, who found favor in the eyes of God. Angel no kachireno. Joseph, the various nyama of moa kopim say okonya favor in the eyes of God. Even Pharaoh cry and man favor throughout to cry. That is interesting because that they found favor with God. Yes. Does it mean those who found favor with God also go through plenty crisis and tribulation? Because they are very famous. Joseph, they are not crying at me. Yeah.
But
I mean, you are in a society that Obianim say your husband has not married you and then you are pregnant because you found favor. You've given birth to a baby boy, and then everybody wants to kill the baby boy. And that is favor with God. And you have to run all the way to Egypt. In fact, giving birth to the baby boy in Ukraine was where horses poo, and then is that then let's go to that one you mentioned, Sarah.
I get the
Sarah too, that you are saying Sarah found favor with God. And so end up from Sarah. She had crossed menopause.
Sure.
All the teeth in their mouth were going off. Still, by. And you said that is favor with God. It looks as if when you find favor with God, it also comes with favor. Joseph, I will come and we'll see Joseph found favor with God. I mean, if favor with God will let them sell me into slavery, they do that. And you grow.
In case you cry the most pathetic Halifax because he had to change his clothing 6 times before he eventually saw the favor of God. When he was young, the parents gave him a cloth that everybody knew was a cloth of many colors. Eventually, when his brothers sold him, they took out that cloth and smeared it with your friend saying, the lamb's blood just to deceive the father. Then those who bought him gave him another cloth. That is the cloth of slavery. He put on that and went to Potiphar's house. Then, somewhere along the line, he had to be jailed. So that cloth was taken, and he had to put on the cloth of a prisoner. You understand me? And it went on and on until eventually, when he, I think the 5th stage was where he eventually found favor in the eyes of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh had to give him a new set of clothing and a crown as a president, as prime minister, of Egypt. And then finally, he had to put on the cloth of death.
That was interesting. I mean, one day let's interview your pastor. Is he a teacher, an apostle, evangelist? What does his calling?
He's a teacher.
He's a teacher. And the name is?
Charles, Pastor Charles.
Pastor Charles.
Charles Adefarakun.
Adefarakun.
Yes.
That's interesting because these days, people who are called to be teachers are entering into the prophetic. They don't understand. They are saying things that, are a bit controversial. I see. But that doesn't, at least, my idea. So, finding favor with God doesn't mean there wouldn't be challenges. By the end of the day, you will triumph. Interesting. Father, when you give us favor, give us the grace to face the challenges the favor comes with. Because it's easy. Easy. They say you give birth to the Messiah. Anyway, the man himself, General Sokresafo. General, we can cause him out.
Oh, we can no. There is hope ahead.
We can call no. There is hope ahead. I mean,
we can call ye.
And
I'm starting something new.
Oh, okay.
Okay, FM.
We got on some in the beam.
Oh, there be.
We got trusting.
There be.
And we build in silence, and then when it comes up, and then we take it on from there.
Thank you. But
what's the sorry?
I
see. I want him.
Alatos place.
You call sorry what bar?
It's my child, sir.
Okay.
Maybe I'm you some this year with a no.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So we can no. But blocks spin our car as blocks no.
But
because
push this one and take the middle one.
When you have some kind of prophets.
And then the man himself, the man with the most popular phone number in this country, 02-609-644. Reverend Dr. Counselor Cassiston Cyril George Lutrot, the man who is the originator of the ginger, Macbe ginger and honey chips. And audition a car more or the call round the ever sure come say in a few years time I did about the jidding employing people around the world, and at least he has started. I watched the man and I admire him so much.
Thank you.
Counselor, weekend
weekend was very tiring, but it was fruitful. Let me say, weekend we make Oh, abaya ne friend is saying, na if na your friend won. Go for if jogo to wife for if year won jogo to wife. Ewa if year series no mo no.
Mhm.
And you see in the weekend
Oh, I see.
Enti go for inti you go ja jogo to ye. Na Halifax.
Yeah.
Mobo. So obi wanya mobo.
Nti na e o mo
Mobo say pictures are ye display ye after ye kosi nipa no. Mobo no. Ona mi bisa me ho say oti asi no to ne nsa frɛ yɛn sɛ ɔyɛ yɛ like no wa block street na gɛbɛ ba na yɛnkɔ but we nyina everybody from top and down I see we are afraid of the dead obiaba abaye na yi yakosie no difficult mami with that thinking that why don't we celebrate. Why don't we find ourselves together? Say the industry people will come together. The bloggers are ready. Obiaba because obiu. Me and system kakra. So be so tone and suffer me. The me nya engo kan de ni o. The to so be entertainment. Ya ba ebe share.
Okay.
Saturday ni trance come di nkomo. By means of video bi a Kofi Adoma nkomo ye di nyina with all the pay. Ya mo ano industry foi na ka me ebe me dem say ebe fair ye say ebe ka say ya de bibia koma Kofi Adoma mpo like donation and na wanje minister so team nkomo na ase a say ya de bibia kompo no wanje as industry players but there are people in the industry who see Kofi Adoma bibia anye no na settings.
Why do you glorify such things? You ignore and we move on.
But you see, I feel sad. Say Halifax that 2 years we been swear. Abranti abon ho modin sa be se ne. So eti adi unsu komo ba Saturday program ani ko yi. But it's a state.
But why are you surprised? Omoko attack no wo Ashoman Estate Road no so say every say settings.
Hey.
So you ignore.
And na chinya max ni wo ho.
Bra, you ignore and move on. And we just pray that the Lord should deliver us from evil and evil friends.
Thank you.
That's all. It's
noonday distraction. The Lord should deliver us from noonday distraction.
By Psalm 91, no. It is true, Counselor. They are that is waiting at the midday to destroy.
They start with an arrow
that flies by day.
So at noonday there is an arrow at noonday.
Yes,
so there's a distraction
at noonday.
At noonday.
And then there is the terror of the night.
Yo.
So we just need to keep praying.
Well, but so that was my weekend. Sunday was the birthday of Prophet Emmanuel J. So we had a good time celebrating the son, the last son, and it was fun. Abeku was there. Congratulations once again, Abeku Agri Santana. It was good. So my weekend has been very, very packed. There's a state of the nation's address by Miss G that I think she has brought an apology to settle some of the issues. But we have to learn. One day, when the time is up, we'll discuss that. But I'm surprised today, Sokre Safo, who told us that when it comes to eat Ghana, wear Ghana, he is the brain, that is his brainchild. Sokre told us that if you see anybody wear Ghana on Friday and whatever, it is him. And I saw him crossing the road and wearing what he's wearing.
And I said, when you wear Ghana,
this is not Ghana way, please.
Oh, General. General, you can say,
Ghana ni. Oh, let's be honest. Ghana man, if Socrates was still in power in GTA, will you dress like this? Will you dress like this? He wants to take me to court, so I'm creating the power for the court. Will you dress like this?
Okay, FM.
No, let's be honest. Will you dress like this if you're GTA?
Yeah. Jay Monique be kwa kwe ni do kwa kwe. Si Monique call a telephone.
Chawalala. Nyami chawalala. Ko ba di mene se ne kenu ba. Meanwhile ni wo ko kutoka ni no kwa mini.
General, don't go there. Okay? Don't go there. If you are not wearing something that was manufactured in this country, so why don't I want to be shoe? What type of matter is this? Safo achi Councillor Ludford. Atwini nine. Atuni shoe. Atwini. Safo boko di.
Oh, bibi a boko.
I don't know how to do shoe. I don't know how to do in Babua. Say.
Maybe she made in Ghana. Even in Pabua crab she made.
He was talking about your shirts. Say we shirts with the Uto was store.
Oh, hey, yeah, hey.
Oh, you have to show your shoe.
As if for Umayambonium not in Tokwa, yes. But on a more serious note, everybody was expecting you in some African or Ghanaian party. Ghanaian fabric or something done by a Ghanaian tailor. Everybody saying.
Ali boy.
But if the thing is patriotic in you, you won't change when government changes.
Halifax boy.
If the thing is part of you, what is this?
I can tell you in all certainty, say ni really fear.
They were in Ghana month.
No, it's and because as of last week he was here promoting Ghana month. Say Yembo Ghana Hong Kong, Yembo Independence Hong Kong. You know, I think they really fear.
It's not true because Saturday I'm not remind you say Felix the discussion be about on Ghana month and he knows.
Councillor. I said no. I said that's our last week. He was reminding us this is Ghana month, but you don't know what happened at home today.
And you're not coming from the house.
General,
Halifax boy,
I take an offense to the response you give to Councillor Addo. Would you
retract and apologize to everyone?
Would you know reframe your response?
I'm coming from the gutters.
That is even worse.
That is worse.
Safo radio is also to educate. Kids are listening to you. So you mean he asked, were you coming from home direct? Oh yes. Oh no, I passed some manager in the job. Papa ko be no go ko ndu aka ba shina ke we issue no.
What the Bible says, answer according to.
Okay, I think he insists he wants to be where he is.
Okay, so this is how you want to answer me.
So okay, it is noted.
I'm noted it.
We'll still have
Bible
50,
says.
we have 50 minutes more to go. Let's move straight to the point. Councillor.
Yes, brother.
I believe
starting with
you've heard
when
about
we were here before he came.
I saw you crossing the road.
I can answer you the way you want us to go. If that
okay,
is
it's okay. It's okay.
So
the Bible says,
it's okay.
Why?
You want to answer? The Bible says, "I'll answer."
Councillor, I and this is a rhetorical question. I believe you. It's here for they are fighting too much. Let me go to Nene. Nene is calm.
Thank you.
Councillor, I believe you've heard about the National Film Authority.
Yes.
And you know their mandate.
Yeah, right.
Basically, they are responsible for regulating, promoting, supporting the film industry, giving advice, making sure that it is culturally sensitive, things we believe in.
Yeah.
Now, me assurance to say, Omo, is it outgoing or outgone? Executive Secretary Penya Odano Juliet Ya Santi wa Santi. Me nim say Jamawa kind ni write up nana. And that one kind okay.
Me hu ba no say
won shed and steady. I'll go through for you. Okay.
O kan ma me e be boa na my situation conversation but
say what tin
those times
but but unim those of us who love reading, there is a way. Look at what here. Remember point back so.
Thank you.
So that when I'm reading, then it clicks.
That's it.
And that is it. It is just like you want to answer comprehension questions. It is good to read the questions first before you even read the passage.
Thank you. It helps you.
Okay. So one, I'll read, but look out for the following things. Purported sexual harassment from her male bosses. If it's a new government agency, and on no first executive secretary, I feel more forming board, and indeed almost there was no furniture, no pay, no logistics. Is it legit or not legit? If the board is led by a board chair, and under the structure or hierarchy of the NFA, you have the minister there, then the board led by a board chair, before the executive secretary or director, who takes instructions from who? If we executive secretary, and for all your tenure there, board no when in fact board members to make sure no money what nasi, no man did you attempt 5 hours raw, or mujia no swear. So for why is smiling? 5 hours raw, or mujia no money was I call for instance social media 2 weeks raw.
Media soon,
and for another 2 weeks.
Yes.
So let me go straight and read, what exactly Juliet wrote, and Safonso Minjin they say we kind, and yes on but for the entire in the second year, 10,000 cedis into bracket $1,000 at a time. Neither me or I thought neither comes with no. Anyway, neither me or my staff received pay for 2 years. We had to shoulder the cost of running. Put off their mics. We had to shoulder the cost of running a government office from our pockets. We worked from my home or the homes of other staff members. There was absolutely no one to show us the ropes of how to set up a new government agency, and while we were struggling to understand what to do and not to do, I was dealing with a very antagonistic board that told me upfront that I wasn't who they wanted. The first activity we tried to do was gather data to understand the sector and problems we were dealing with. This activity was blocked by the board, and almost everything after that was challenged or blocked. Board meetings were sights to behold. Thankfully, the covered video took off, and many Ghanaians found solace in the beautiful video, giving hope to many, without realizing that it was from the newly formed National Film Authority. Filmmakers contributed to the video for free. But then though, the attacks were non-stop, online and offline. Gosh, there was a day I was attacked for 5 hours by a 13-member board, and they screamed at me to keep quiet when I tried to explain the situation. And insulted 2 weeks without any breaks on 3 different WhatsApp pages at the same time. At that same time, my mother was dying, and the hospital bills were killing me. While I had to be buying lights and paying for office printing, transport and paying for events out of pocket, etc., it was those days that we did the pitch series. It became very clear to me very quickly that if we were to achieve anything, a complete tunnel vision was needed. Complaining was never my style, and explaining or going on radio stations to confront untruths was not the answer either. I didn't have the mental space. I was fighting a war outside and having earthquakes at home. My own tribe was eating me up, and I had to play psychologist to my perplexed team. They just couldn't understand the massive hate. In 2022, we all got our first salaries. Thank God. But money was still so tight, and we still had inadequate office space, no car for work, nothing. Even the machines used at the office was personal to many of us. Everything you see online was edited on my personal machine. Last Friday, Madam Kafui Danku was announced as the new executive secretary. Congratulations, Madam. I wish you all the success. I remember vividly a day when I was caught between 2 male bosses, and one lifted me up boldly and shoved me into the arms of another, insisting that I give him a hug. The latter hugged me and made a comment, maybe I'm the one who will marry you one day. That night, I scrubbed myself until my skin was tender. I felt dirty. I'm 50 years old and I have just lost my job. So I can afford to say this. May another woman never suffer this. Or should I speak about the woman that's called me stupid? And all manner of things I can't say here, and bang the phone on me simply because I tried to do a good industry event? My staff held my hands and told me to be strong. May a woman never do this to another woman. I recently heard someone say about me, people don't just like her. Firstly, that is not true. Many people love me. But anyhow, I am not here for likes. And I'm sure even you don't like yourself all the time. Many are carrying some people's fights and buying hate they don't even understand. But thank you. I'm grateful to you. Your dislikes put fire under my butt. I love you. Because of you, I can't be lazy. I want to say a big thank you to the many who helped us along the way. Some even bought flight tickets to help me travel to conduct government work. There are still staff volunteers that have never been paid at the National Film Authority, but they still continue to serve there diligently. Recently, I heard someone say we are jokers. Well, let's joke a bit, joker. I will start with the name dropping. I have 4 certificates from Harvard. I mentored at MIT Lagatom School of, did I pronounce that right, of Business, and I'm a Lagatom and Aspen Fellow. Now, go and research that, Mr. Joker. And it is your turn. Let's go. You have no idea the intelligence and God's spirit it takes to be a creator. Many times I enter a room and they say, oh, you represent the jokers. Well, I always make sure it is clear who the joker is by the time I leave. That's the way to play the game, my guys. Show them that we are not jokers, nor joking. What is next? Someone asked me, well, loads of eating, dramas, getting fat and sleep. By the way, please get Kafui an office and a car so she can work properly and not have to carry out government work from her living room like I had to do. Some compensation to me for all the expenses would also be good, but I'm not about to hold my breath. The little money I raised for office and car by the end of last year has been cleared by the accounts by the Bank of Ghana before we could even get the office and get the vehicle. And while you are at it, please send me my layoff letter. It is only respectful to both CEOs to ask the sitting to go in writing before appointing another, or isn't it? And insulting me in front of my staff like that was threatening them. It was so unnecessary, my love. You are the boss after all. It was so dishonorable by all accounts. If there is any regret, it is that I could not finish the work. And I'm so happy we are finally embracing the name Black Star. Are we still against Black Star films at this point? Some have asked me, why didn't you resign? Well, I am not the kind of mother who abandons my baby and jumps ship. I still got the birthing scars on me. I want to say a big thank you to the people of Ghana and my sector for giving me the privilege to serve. But I'm about to make my way back to you. Be patient. And thank you for waiting. May the universe bear witness to my words. As if freedom has come, blah, 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 blah. Ya Musins, Gila Santi, Ya Sentua. Lutro, this is the letter in full.
Halifax.
Yeah.
The latter part of the letter answers what she is complaining or she's rating. I see the letter
no every year no be by
or say I don't know say no resign no so only baby or resign if he or janema enti or the me fin the year adwuma no appointment no so me nimbo o mampanyi na ma na one e ma no
or see minister nona from what we read or see minister na friend country and say koye dwuma we. But obviously, Omanpenyin never instructed minister because some of those letters come in those green, the green sheets.
Now, no could say, you about Madame Julius Asante, Otna on for more than 4 years, and less than 4 years.
Or see November 2020, from what I read.
24 years.
This is 20 exactly 4 years.
That's a 4 years. Now buying a bar second time on any buy.
From what she's saying.
Okay. Enti mantisa okoso ko bisa anyamo ya amano let anu anka say okobisa for getting an office any amano manti bibisa ba o chese bibie ni ho a chese office ba bosumi wi yetua wo edwuma na me ni yetua wo
de be bosumu ye no ya ntua mo for afi mienu
enti ta masala ni ba na de no mo ye
edwuma
where because the government need the work of baby. Akonya ni yo, table ni ho. There are no logistics. Babu sumi otua o. Now so je.
O de bi se o si omwa tamomo fie niama. Photocopier, printer, so no hwehwe ni logistics the ye adwuma no.
So it means that government no enim say obibi ani ho, but we provide it until the government forgot about it another.
And also one church remember them say a new government agency afen na omo nhase.
It means like I said, assistant get to you because more nyahwe.
Oh, so omo ye brebi.
And I'm so mo ye bibi fee.
Free omo office no.
So office na any hon or ye den.
Eventually office buy.
It's not say at this time are all complaining identity. You find a photocopier machine and konyani nyamo si ebi ni hon. Kafi dan ku e kwesi ano. Ono so ndwin so kotoni di akwa na. Advice to a sister ni ye den.
Oh, say eventually, meaning some office war attic opposite Africa ko honom no.
That's all.
And see, at least see them meaning some of me ko also me hunkonia wo ho.
Na konia because say including boya Colombia mo yanko other agency mi jigbe
creative arts.
Creative arts. But your sister Jankroma say odi nyama ko and na say when so okosisa nyama ko na.
Oh, we on kasa nkonia no ye ne de see office machines na ye ne de.
Enti okosisa ko.
Wan kasa anso.
So say etodi bia won ye ade ti say party na ye me good party na ni masiwo. Ananti me dey make an say because the office that appointed you, if things were not okay, long time, why haven't you ever made any statement?
Or your bad time pa.
About tampa on kasa fako room. Because at this time they okay yo. Not to say me dem nyanga tua wo no, I didn't think you tua wo. Because aban uma me akonya uma me be ntrai na so se menya adwuma enti den o ye enti time o be launch sa nyama ne nyina ye man board ana nyama ne board say man board
yeah man board headed by the old David Donto
chale me kai say sa ye ne fight wo ye am grofo ni board fo yi o channel group me ka say ma me no sorry o ade o tro ye wo hu e ye true so bia wo kwan so spill it out whatever is in the heart. But so it can be the alukwale ni jama aye nyama bi wo ho a baby a game na akwakodunu ni be a ye wie if you want to hand over to your sister who is coming are these things necessary if you want to establish an office because me gidi say Sunday amu kan dey bia na office nia na mbe ye no people support them at times just because of where they are ye mo bi akonya because NFA what must say enti so mo basa no mo kasa ati say your ma appointment no sebio now you move from how do you post somebody somewhere there's no place to sit there's nothing to work and we are demanding from her it means that the party didn't treat her well it means that the minister was not and Mark was aware of all these things as the deputy.
Well, you spoke about the board chairman you David Donto. You have other board members, Akofia, Jenny, Ya Atefwa, Josephine Ohinio Say, Dora Dakwa Mensah, Dr. Samuel Anyete Nela, Zakaria Abdullahi, Kofi Nate, Kofi Ohimino Wusu, and this goes on and on. Sami Jandor. They have reps from the Tourism Ministry, Communications Ministry, Film and Television Ministry, Ghana Actors Guild, and this goes on and on and
so
on.
So all these people were watching the executive secretary walking, not having a place to sit.
No, they were insulting her when they go to board meeting, screaming at her.
So where did they have the board meeting? Shell filling station or somewhere?
At the place.
Oh, I think that she has something to say, but from where it's coming from. She could have bowed down honorably. She wants to clear the air. The things she was supposed to clear, there were air about. This one is not part of it.
But meanwhile, sometime November 2023, when they organized the Africa Cinema Summit,
yes,
the damn president himself,
yes,
Nana Akufo-Addo, was the special guest of her.
Yes,
taking pictures with her.
Yes, yes.
When they did the Ghana National Ansah Awards, she was given a national award.
So what did she take the award for?
Enduring insults.
Because there was nothing. I mean, Uncle David Donto sat here one time and it was bad. And their word was that she never took the board for anything. That's what they said, and it's on record. We interview. We were sitting there.
But she says that there were 13 people, and they were always insulting her. And that when she goes for meeting 5 hours, they insulted her non-stop for 5 hours. And she said, "We didn't attend. We didn't attend. We can't. Shut up! No more be
she's not the one they wanted. So who do they want?
Man, Kabosio didn't attend 5 hours. So almost started an apart. Let's say 10 a.m., 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. To 3 p.m. attended the or so my main church when no be came here so David or bet me came back shut up for 5 hours or yeah no chino call or WhatsApp group for 2 weeks attended the
I think that Madam Juliet Asante will have some challenges that everybody will have, but Nijidi say let her watch the way some person they will come kafui dankwa then there is a welcome below the belt. The other part of car say another sister is coming. Now, say we be call out her. Your money letter you be back in. Side no so cancer no. Me ka say CEOs ne bi anfa ni nyama nyajumangu ana.
Okay.
Ana yankasa.
Yeah kan.
Your mo be individual letters.
Mantie no.
Enti letter be no twen ama we fi office.
Oh, maybe your special letter say you know step aside, you know, for any.
Na obi a honye. Obi a oyo batampa keke na edi obi aba when nji so beko.
Oh no bro, until say we dey freedom man.
Until then you complain, you say freedom be
man. Well,
so no car.
I see your new official car.
Okay.
Nana Beneta Akuaku. Former CEO, National Film Authority.
Yeah.
Their job is to basically.
Was she a CEO or
executive secretary? Sorry, by executive secretary by the organogram executive secretary. Thanks for the clarity, councillor. The board was just insulting and abusing her. One instance they went, oh gosh, 5 hours of insults.
Oh, Halifax, I know something. The dirty bathing. I wanted to finish the dirty bathing.
And you see. So you still want to do it before Nene comes?
Okay, you go and come back to it. Because for a man to touch you and go and wash
okay.
Get off your body.
Because you see my male bosses, and this is what I know. If you check their organogram, is that what it is called? I think that's what it's called.
Yes, organogram.
The minister will be at the top.
Yes.
Then another minister is the board. Then beneath the board will be the executive secretary or director. And then under her, other directors. But above the ministers will be the appointing authority. Now, which people have been ministers at the tourism place? It was Madame Catherine Afeku, deputized by Dr. Ziblin Idi. Safo, am I right?
You are right.
It's Idi. That's the doctor. Very calm MPP from the northern side. And then when Catherine Afeku went, ye di mami babrotin jesi the saya or three eye pencil best name and the eye pencil you be no correct no. But so if I'm wrong, then you come in, you correct me. Okay. Then under babrotin jesi, the deputy was still Dr. Zeblim.
Yes.
And now Mudi first term. Second term or no, the minister was Dr. Mohammed Awal.
So
and then the deputy was Yaya Nia Mark Okrekumante.
Yes.
And then Dr. Awal went, then Ejapa Mensah came.
Yes.
In this I see me 2 male bosses. I was caught between them. And one shoved me and dumped me on the other one. Or could he be the bosses at the presidency? Is it the bosses at the ministry? Or is it the bosses at the board? Because also if you are the second secretary, the board chairman is your boss.
Yes.
Is it David Dumpton who grabbed her and shoved her on the board member, a male? Or I don't know.
Or Dr. Wa grabbed her
and shoved her on the
Kukumante. I'm looking at Kukumante who is about to get broken.
Kukumante grabbed her.
Receiving. Oh.
But she said she felt she felt dirty. Yeah. But what's your problem with that?
Oh no. I don't know much about. Is she married already with children?
I also don't know that, but I know that.
But she's 50 years.
Yes, she says she's 50. But I don't know that any form of bodily contact against your consent, you can complain about it.
And that you can refer to that as dirty.
No, she felt dirty, so she has to go and scrub her body
until her body became red,
soft and tender.
Could it be maybe an idiomatic expression as a writer? She just want to give us a pictorial edifice of the way her mind thinks. That's why she's writing the word dirty, because the word dirty was very strong. And if it's truly that any of Henkrofom you beer, when say maybe I grew up in Omuso and Munia car say I'll marry in future, so long can here. Henkrofonic to where now. Ombe feel say, oh, who do you want them? What must I say? Yeah. I mean that word now. I watch death near dang.
I remember vividly a day when I was caught between 2 male bosses. One lifted me up bodily and shoved me into the arms of another, insisting that I give him a hug. The latter hugged me and made the comment, "Maybe I'm the one who will marry you one day."
And that's on what it is.
That night, I scrubbed myself until my skin was tender. I felt dirty.
Alvas Cobra. If you say manage a way.
Oluibadon.
Oh,
well, the woman feels dirty. She was shoved and dumped on another man who hugged her against her consent. And the man made some comments that maybe I'll marry you one day. And she feels it's harassment.
Yeah, very interesting reading. You know, Troy, tin. Now, when you read such a long write-up, sir, one here sometimes you get lost in the midst of words. You know, I don't know, so winding. Of her, no, I jump back, no, bind, you know. So, what you need, and you get lost in what exactly her complaints are. But, or starting here, no, or see, today is the happiest moment in my life.
Sir.
For happiness, no boy, I feel the lamentations. Yeah. We start here now. Preamble now. Say today is the happiest. I feel the happiest. Now you expecting happy things, you know. Now feel the sad lamentations. Ting. Well, whilst I do not want to rubbish everything she said, you know, there is one thing I know could be true. The office was a new place, and because it was new, no. Initial takeoff no can be jerky kakra. Prayer or see MI for nearly 2 years so I won't doubt it. Because meaning a minimum so I am appointments in that sector. I am Chiawamuka.
Still and by. No put yourself by after 2 years.
Yes. They gave him the a position, and then for a long time, no salary, nothing. Until if some people are so timid to say it in public and others are saying it, let them say it. On behalf of the rest. Let them say it. It appears that she's playing the victim too much.
Oh, how?
In all these things. And I did him attend waha, and I waited me a joke waha, and I waited me a
what did he attend 5 hours?
Yes,
13 human beings.
So I feel bizarre. You see, I'm not the kind of mother that. Then why don't you keep quiet? If you are not the kind of mother that abandons sheep and leaves your baby, then on principle, no, she should have kept quiet. But let me come back to where she was shoved. And and then
she was grabbed and shoved on another
her and the rest of them. That you need there. She should just leave it at that. Because our evidence now says Bibisa still. Yes, I didn't. What was her demeanor? Did she demonstrate to say, "Nya omu yenu ompe"? Ana oye kum just giving a mechanical smile na a chirina oko jware. She can't take this matter up beyond just writing it on paper.
Are you sure?
She can't.
Oh, Nene. Bill Cosby, 40 years later, somebody passed and said, me too. When I was working here, somebody forced a hug on me, my male boss, and said he will marry me one day. I felt dirty. Yes. She can take it up anytime.
Yes. Bill Cosby as an example. Let me also give you somebody just recently. There's a man called Luis Rubiales. The Spanish Football Authority, no? Boss, just as our version of
GFA, no?
Ket. Okay. It's our version.
Is it still there?
Spain. Spain. Echo ball and the female,
Okay.
And then he kissed the one of the girls. Tama odi man
man peg kakre.
No, man we see with the kiss.
Okay.
One, he was sacked by both the local and the FIFA. He was fined 10,800 euros.
Okay.
He was also banned from getting closer to the lady, not closer than 200 meters. Say baby Alban will be a manu ben say omushia will market to cry so penny baby in fact.
They say if it's a fidelity and if it's a MC
like that,
no 200 meters. Okay.
Yes. But SCA in the public eye. So the whole world was a witness. When so they see you were caught
between two male bosses.
The two male bosses who can wahi. Because this thing is evidence. Who can you evidence no why? I don't want to say that she was a bit petty. Sanya councillor Kayen.
Oh, that will be chauvinistic, misogynistic. Because you've hugged a woman against her consent. You say she's against her consent.
And that's why I asked an initial
50-year-old woman.
She demonstrates that she wasn't happy.
Oh, they were her bosses.
Did she scream?
They were her bosses.
Did she push? What did she do? She went show that what happened was against her wish.
She went home
because
to bath.
There and Camponi.
She went home to bath.
I was in the beer.
Because there were
Kasa. Any Kasa, any Shiao. But Hagen Nantokwan. You know that kind of Hagen Nantokwan, Abia.
But that is still wrong. You can't have any form of bodily contact with any woman against her will. A 50-year-old woman. Why do you say
against her will? Then they say it was against her will.
They should have sought her permission before shoving her and giving her to another man and say, hug him.
When you're one person's account. When you're one person,
and then the man also said, maybe I'll be the one to marry you one day. Who told you she's begging for her husband? And even if she's begging for her husband, why you?
Why do you take everything she wrote hook, line, and sinker?
We are analyzing what she wrote.
Yes.
So
against who? Against who's?
Against who? As if the who can analyze the who. We are analyzing what?
Yeah. It is our aspect. You know, the meaningful say, I mean, the only me find. Because the two men, I don't think the two men will have said we hugged her, we forced her to hug us and the rest of them. No?
But should we be hugging our female colleagues or subordinates or whatever at work against their consent?
When you say against, I don't understand. When somebody, you don't want somebody to hug you, you reject it. If they
this one, she was caught between the two of them.
No, so did you prevent the hugging? Because office we have.
Answer no be kasa no mo atam no to say mori. Wow. What is that chicken shan?
It's some.
Omo atam say some e dey koye pa no.
It's some buto.
E no mo tam no. E no ni no ma be ma fefro no. E no ka say so fam no bam no. E na say oh. E no mo fam no bam no. E no ka chane say wo cry bi adachi. Wo na me ware o. E ye wo wa. And now call fee no feel say o ma gu ni ho fi. Nti say o ko dware ni ho sa what's the scrubbing or did that is
scrub
sanya akocha or the scrubbing ho ni
but I think say it is possible something of that nature could have happened. So, a lot of things happen in offices. A lot of things do happen. Obi kra to me bo obi to obi kra to me tapu obi can say.
But these are harassments.
So those things.
These are harassments.
Yes, and if they did happen, that's unfortunate. But she cannot go beyond this level of complaining. Complaining on paper, no. I don't think she can. Say camera be any ho. And I say one ko bo obi amanie. Dana de no see no. Na dan for me no be akokachira wo, and then they must also be willing to testify. Say ko bo money and no cramp no. It will be difficult because
but then let's bring it to a local Ghanaian setting here.
Okay.
Oba wo boss ye bema woni wo boss mienu ehia wo office omo ahage o enya de obetumi a complain bia baby a eni wakumem and so if you say why did she complain
I say gisento kwa bi wo ho gisento kwa bia ni ho mishia
what you say Abigail Ashley hagi me say in time pe but I only hug back so that shouldn't be as if there is a problem.
So when you hug back, should you go and complain?
It is sweet. But it's against my consent.
Yeah, so scrabble body.
Adele, come and hug me and see if it's with my consent.
Even Obiya was a threat to your eyes.
Anyway, then I see from that.
Yeah, you know, little lady, sa area no hono na interesting kakra. Nia kanu de yes salary it could be possible say for 2 years not pay amba. A company that is just starting up and I set up I feel the setting up they initially to be
teething problems here
definitely there will be
especially a government agency
yes,
for
government
that
agencies and to the extent to say minimum obia or no man appointment I am triano kanu
secret safo
to that extent no need no betimi aye no cre. So I agree with you here, but the remaining of the lamentations, I
have a last question for you, National Asafo Bebe, man. That will be his first question.
Okay.
Why would you feel, sir? I mean, somebody who has been appointed by a certain government to lead such a crucial aspect of our arts and culture. I mean, from the outside, we can see the corporation. She was given a board of experts throughout. As I said, the president himself was at one of her functions, just 2023 year. He honored her for this national awards. And why do you feel, say, less than 2 months after leaving power, on the day a new person is announced that the position where the Makafu Dankwa, a government appointee of 4 years, who never coughed any form of complaints, who we saw around the president and the presidency. People even thought she was being over-pampered at a point. Why would you feel within 2 months she would turn around and write such,
that's a very difficult question to answer.
Agony-filled lamentations.
I don't know if she was expecting too much from the office, from the day she was appointed. And as, there are people who want to be treated as goldfish, like, sort of. Pampering all over the place. I cannot tell what exactly started, but my question is, was she only be right for everybody to be wrong. Because almost everybody was against her, especially the bosses.
Yes, and the entire board.
The entire board. Was there something she was doing right that they didn't like?
That all the 13 had it wrong.
Yes.
And all of them were from the same industry.
Yes. And now say, but as to why she kept quiet all this while, and she painted a rosy picture, especially in the presence of the cameras. I mean, in the president, not just 2 months after leaving office, you bring this litany of their complaints, it's only left to her to tell the world.
It means you also do not know.
I do not know.
General,
Halifax.
We are Juma or Juliet Assi.
Aye.
That's your Juma there.
Well, Halifax.
Yeah. Because when we are chairman of the Film and Classification Committee. Now, Film and Classification Committee, just we share Juliet Assi. Now, me say Juliet Assanti. We share na say ye Juma no. Na say Juma ti say.
Well, na say Juma interesting. Interesting.
Eyede.
Oh, eyede papa.
Na say Juma yede. Okay.
Papa. Halifax. Eyede papa.
And you na go hage no.
Mpacho Debbie. Onye me nye no ye me boss nti you seen your hage no. Halifax.
Salvo.
Me kind
Nkrata no.
No. Madwin could see the former chairman of FIPAC, Mr. Mohammed.
Okay.
Or no can be chire or say asembia otia ti ni mienu. Obi be kan sem chirewa about we am say to boase. Listen to the other side before you pass judgments. Enti media asembia obi betro. I wish everybody to exercise patience and listen to the other side too. Now, fast forward, me kind letter no, or can about your man a letter no without an office.
And without money.
Without money. First, she was aware there was no office. The day I okoje in the letter no, did she ask for the office? That was the first question I want to ask. And the children said there's no office. And no G2. For the records, I handed her letter to her. Many of the mommy.
Many of the suma was
and all the board members. Many of the letters ni mo munyina. She didn't ask me of your friend is
the office when he air condition kunya typewriter.
Again, minim say they were offered a place first at Bureau of Ghana Languages.
Okay.
The building, no. The complaints in the whole no board meetings in the menina. Minimum. And sana ye do ba attic. Ye ba attic, including your friend saying Creative Arts.
Agency by then.
Council by then. Council
by
yeah. Into the almost so about and they almost put the normal dan kitwa ba kumu a Creative Art Council no. How do you call it?
Attic
no. But you know omunya to like a big place and another.
Also, and so almost office no. It's in her letter. It's a small place.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. There are a whole lot of institutions I'll call my example the other day about Commission on Culture, the whole institution in our share, and they work perfectly. Knowledge, the board's knowledge say yeti hansi na yebihuana.
But the board is supposed to be a governing board.
Yes. And for the records, Halifax.
Yes.
Me, so Christopher, I'm part of the drafters of that law. And I know what the law says.
So my explanation of the organogram is right.
Yeah.
That the board chairman comes before the executive secretary.
Yes.
Yes, because, I mean, at least corporate structure.
Yeah. I know. And it is one of the reasons why the law took over 20 years to pass. Because the initial draft of the law was that government was going to appoint people. And you see there, we were the practitioners. Ni ayen ye penny say, and was say yen ne ye choose young crow for no more board so. And for over 20 years we drag it until we got it. We got it, say industry, at the members never we come first meeting. You're discussing what the challenges of the industry. You are prepared to be our executive secretary. You are part of the board. We discuss everything there. We hand it to you for implementation. You go and implement next meeting, which is another quarter. Oba, implementation, no challenges. Achievements in here. I also have these ideas. Oh, okay, it's a good idea. Go and do it. And I say, oh, the way can you way free man? Then you go and do it. Simple way and talk. But when the board sits, no more better and say, yeah, lunch bibi ha, yeah, bibi ha. As a board member, if you are a board member, will you be happy?
I would ask my board chair when they had a meeting with us.
And the board chair also tells you, so I have no idea. When the person comes, won't you ask why you did it?
Nipa no Onka said they asked her, or see they insulted her for 5 hours. And when she wanted to
attended,
when she wanted to explain, they were shouting at her for 5 hours more.
Well, me okay. Me attended 2 board meetings, but in the board members, me sure say. So so this the little minimum in when it comes to finances, Halifax.
Yeah.
There are instances money. I'm surprised she didn't put those things in her presentation. There are monies that have come to the NFA. I know there are monies. It be from how do you call it? MasterCard support. Any Nema, I think about 700,000 or so. That the board are not even aware.
Cedis or USD?
Yes, cedis.
700,000 Ghana cedis?
Yeah.
NFA?
Yeah.
To Auntie Juliet?
Yes.
Are you saying this on record?
Not the board. Will tell you, say, we are not aware.
I'll be surprised if the board is not aware. Because a government agency, it is a
if you are a board member, no way.
You know,
you are a board member.
Normally, board bed discuss even if it's even worth.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
You mean the board didn't know about the money?
Because all these things were coming up, and you are expecting the board. If you are a board member, you sit there and you realize it. Won't you ask questions? So, Halifax, this thing, I pray that we just leave it as it is. Look. We spent 2 million cedis on NFL. How do you call it? Where is that in? NFL.
2 million Ghana cedis or 2 million cedis?
$2 million.
On NFL, what is NFL? You mean?
On NFL advert, we see a kind of say,
okay.
Okay, NFL advert. And look, Joy. How do you call it? Ubenyan TV3.
So your point is because I have to go.
All this. It was on 23rd February 2024. We spent $2 million on NFL commercial shoot in Ghana. Juliet Asante, Executive Secretary of the Film Authority. The board will sit there and then they will tell that we don't know about this. How did it? No.
Okay, but in conclusion, she says something I want to pick your mind on. If there is any regret, apart from all these complaints, her only regret is that if there is any regret, it is that I could not finish the work.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody, President Nana Dukrawa, I'm finishing the work. Who be any who finishing the work? But I her advice to Kafui Danku, I think is in order. I wish Kafui Danku will come and will be working closely with the board. Yeah. Because I am not talking about my challenge with her, no. Or mention me, no. I am not talking about that. But I wish the board will come and talk. But when it comes to finances, what I know, when she mentioned, says, the classification committee for 1 year into Yomoka. The classification preview committee, you know. They sat for 1 year, more than 1 year.
You are buttressing her point.
No, the monies were collected. Monies were collected. We were paying classification fees.
Oh, okay.
People were paying classification fees.
As part of your IGF.
Yes, but then they didn't get the money. What happened? There was an arrangement from before the Halifax. You Halifax. You sponsored the your friend is saying.
My time is up.
Hey, don't say your time is up. You will say we
should. About upper home. Secret Safo Nene Benete Akuaku any councillor Lutrots. No, me panel members ene. May more be our closing remarks be. Me Halifax Ansah Addo. When me free move. When you me free. When you me free.
Yakpe ko, makpe ginger honey chips.
Hey, that is a rather interesting one. Safon Kasanjuye, but I ruled him out. You know, I say I bind the makeup me. Yes, my name is Halifax Ansah Addo, your humble host. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for your comments, questions, contributions. Lisbeth Gazy, Charles Young. I read all your comments. Nyamiya Doma Wednesday. You bet you. And then show way. Nepa means son on producer. Adele, what is your full name, Adele? Adelaide Ayikwe, aka Virgin. Ayikwe. Adelaide Ayikwe, aka Virgin Adele. DJ Bosco and of course Benjamin Compson. We got Peace 104.3 for the midday news.